What's going on, guys and gals? Bonafide Hustler here, coming to you on a Sunday, Friday in Austin, Texas. Anyways, this show is about 4 really amazing finds that I found from 1 hour thrifting yesterday. So, and there's some other bonus things that I want to show you guys as well. Anyways, I'm the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas, and I flip stuff on a part-time basis that I'm finding from garage sales, estate sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, big box stores, and even thrift stores. And I'm putting it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and other consignment stores in town. Anyways, I'm one of the co-founders of the greenroomuniversity.com. Go check it out. It's the second link down below. In this show, I'm going to show you some really cool things. And surprisingly enough, the 4 finds that I consider really amazing for yesterday were all found in the same area of one thrift store. So I did go on a little thrift, what do I call it? I call it a hot shot, right? And it's when you go quickly to thrift stores that are close to your kind of like area where you live, right? So I call it a hot shot. You go out there, you just knock it out as fast as you can, then you come home. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Like, I didn't even do a sound check, so let me know if you guys can hear me. And we're going to start with find number 1. But like I said, so yesterday I went to a Savers, a Goodwill, and a Goodwill, right? The last 2 Goodwills didn't find anything, but the very first Savers, I freaking found 4 amazing things in one section of the store. So here we go. We got a lot of people in the house, by the way. We got Treasure Hustlers, Mark Pafford, Brandon English, AZ Mick, Adam A517. Cool. So yeah, it's called a hot shot. Like if you go quickly to thrift stores, around your area, I call it a hot shot. It's where you don't have time to go thrifting, but you do it anyway, and you do it really quickly. So okay, so all these 4 finds, the area of the store. If you want to guess, take a guess where these 4 finds came from, real quick. Remember, there's like book area, there's like posters, there's bags, there's glassware, there are those electronics in the little bags, there's a primary electronics section, there's toys, clothing, jackets within clothing, there's shoes, all that kind of stuff, hats. Where do you think these 4 items I'm about to show you came from? Answer that question real quick. I got 45 years in the house. Take a guess real quick where these 4 things came from. And then I'm going to show you 3 bonus finds at the end of this video, because if you guys are, on my channel, I always try to give you guys extra content in some way or fashion or form. So we have people guessing electronics, sporting goods. Melissa Francis says shoes. Jacob Schertzringer says bags. People are knowing me now because bags are totally underrated. But anyways, okay, so these finds actually came from the shoe section. So let me start off with the very first one. I'll kind of build up to what I think is the best one, but not too bad. In fact, before I went out, I was just researching this brand anyway. I mean, I knew about it, right? But I was researching things to look for in Cordovan leather and all this kind of stuff. So of course I'm researching more than likely Allen Edmonds, right? And that's what it was. So I did find these in the shoe section. These right here are Allen Edmonds Bridgeton. They're considered like almost like penny loafer tassel kind of things. Not penny loafer, but tassel loafers. Really nice condition. They are the brown color. And you might be like, oh, who cares about something like that? Well, something like this can actually sell for around $55 to about $70, depending on condition. So that's why I care about it. They also had a $14.99 sticker tag, or maybe $12.99 sticker tag on it, and I got 30% off of that. So that was pretty good. It put it, less than $10 for me, and it's a pretty solid. I mean, it was put it right about $10 for me. It's a solid find, right? Decent underside. Everything looks pretty good. Usually, when you deal with Allen Edmonds on a secondhand basis, like they're going to be, I have found that they come in pretty good condition because the people that can afford these kind of shoes typically don't mess them up. So yeah, anyways, I thought that was a pretty decent find. This was just chilling there on the rack. And we know that there's not a whole lot of wear because we can still see all the sizing like clear as day, like right there. The bottom is not worn to bits. Like you can still see Allen Edmonds and Bridgeton. So, it's in really good condition. I expect to sell these for about $55 to $60. So that's what I'm going for that one. I'll show you another pair of shoes that I'm sorry. This was the very first one that I found as soon as I walked into the Savers. I don't have like all the time in the world to go do thrift runs like every single day, but I do have all the time in the world to do hot shot thrift runs, which are really fun. So if there's a group of stores that might be around maybe the gym that I'm working out at or the coffee shop that I'm doing work at or something like that, like I'm always thinking like, how can I make the most money in the least amount of time? and that coincides with my eBay strategy of 2018. So essentially, that's what's going on through my head, and I'm passing on a lot of things that are going to be paying me like $10, $20, 25 or something like that. It's just, I don't want to get into those kind of items anymore. I want to get into items that are paying, 35, 40, 50 a pop kind of thing. So that's what I'm thinking when I'm popping on these items. This was the very first thing in the shoe section that caught my attention. I immediately rushed to it. It had a sticker price of $27.99 on it. And of course I got 30% off. So that puts it less than 20 bucks for me. But check this out. I thought this was stellar. I don't think you're ever going to guess the brand of this though. So guess the brand of this. Like if you see something like this, based on style alone, you should be looking at it and you should start to get curious, because this style is extremely, extremely in. And I say it's in because it does have the rounded top, which is good. It doesn't have that boxy top or the pointed top, which you really kind of want to stay away from those. But this style is still pretty timeless, and it's definitely in. And it's a high-rise boot. It's not considered an ankle boot or a chukka style boot. This is a full lace-up kind of boot. So who makes this one right here? And they are in phenomenal condition. They're in such good condition. I think they might have been worn one time. And yeah, it's great. It's a great brand, right? It's a military style boot. Yes, I did put military on my keyword on this one. So check it out. What do you guys think right there? City boy boots, yeah. Combat is what Heather Smith Reseller is saying. Justin is what some people are guessing. So I'll show you some more right there. It's a good looking boot, right? But if I flip the underside, you're pretty much going to know what it is. But I'll flip the underside and I'll hide the name. But if you ever see this little orange kind of thing on the bottom of a shoe when you flip it over and it says Nike Air on it, right? I think you pretty much figure out who makes this one now, right? And no, it's not Nike, okay? It's not Nike. But there are a couple companies that do get to get licensed or contract with Nike for certain technologies, such as Lunarlon or Nike Air technology, blah. They can put it in their shoes and so on and so forth. So there are only a couple companies that can actually do that. But when they do that, they do have to put on the bottom that it does have Nike inside. I want to say Vans might be one of them too. Like some of the newer Vans have Nike cushioning in them or something like that. But yes, these are Cole Haan, okay? So people are typing in Cole Haan, Cole Haan, Cole Haan. Yeah. Now, typically when I see Cole Haan shoes, I don't know, like 70% of Cole Haan shoes, like I'm not going to mess with, maybe even 80%. So they're just too common out there for me. It's a great shoe though, right? It's a good shoe, a good brand. It's just the market's like all over the place. And I wouldn't say it's saturated. It's just not worth my time. But something like this is worth my time. And like all these brands, whether it be the North Face or Cole Haan or Crocs or something like that, they all have some of these top levels that you need to be aware of, or the styles that you need to be aware of, right? And the same thing goes with like brands like Keen, for example. Like Keen, 70% of Keen, I'm probably not going to ever hustle, but there's like 30% of Keen that I'm absolutely excited about hustling, and there's a big market for it, and it's very steady. So when you come across like older things like this, in fact, this one is discontinued now. You can't order it anymore, but the last reported price on what Nordstrom Rack, when it went off sale or whatever, like its asking price was $299. The very last price reported on this shoe, new, and you can't get them anymore, right? So it was like 150 bucks. So that's, it's still a good deal for a good quality leather with Nike, technology on the bottom, which means it probably feels really good when you walk around. But the undersole of these are in really impeccable conditions. Check this out, right? These are definitely Cole Haans. I mean, they're in awesome condition. And that was definitely one of the big factors about me pulling the trigger on this one. So these are called, what are these things called? It doesn't really matter what these things are called. Essentially, I did list them pretty high, right? And I'm going to see if I can get close to that 150 mark when a sale is on and everything like that. But that's what I'm kind of like thinking, because they're discontinued. You can't find them anymore. And they are selling on eBay, but it's like I do have a really good color. Like I have a good color and a good size. And yeah, I'm going to kind of hold out for this. I'm not just going to go and be like, yeah, I can make 80 bucks like right now. I could. If I lower this thing to 80 bucks, it's gone, like probably tonight, probably in the next hour. So I'm not going to do that. Like that's not the right play. Like I kind of want to hold out and like twist somebody's arm, like the perfect person that's a size, whatever, that looks at this and goes, oh my God, like where else am I going to find that? Like you can't find it anywhere. So, and they're really good. And yeah, especially if you're going to work like all the time and you want that certain style look to you, but you want comfort as well, then you're going to want something like this, or you're going to want like a Rockport or something that those companies actually put a lot of research into the comfort of the shoe, but they make really good looking styles. But the comfort of the shoe, they've taken really big steps, no pun intended, to make the shoe extremely comfortable. Okay, so how much did I pay for these? I paid less than 20 bucks, like around 19. So I thought this was pretty good. I was like, holy crap, there's no way. But yeah, there is a way, And this is the perfect time of the year to go thrifting. Like if you're kind of like, oh, I'm not a thrifter, it's kind of boring, like I don't like to do it, that's fine. I get it sometimes, but this is the time of the year to really be going. Now all the way up to about March, people are really cleaning out their houses and donating like some of the most incredible things ever. And so you really got to get out there and try to make the best of it. So, okay, let's show you the next thing. So as I was checking out, okay, let me make a correction. Like these four things are shoes, right? They're found in one typical part of the thrift store. But I found this thing that I'm about to show you as I was checking out. I saw it in a bin down below by the person's like feet. Like there was a bin and it had some random items in it. And this one thing caught my eye and I was like, what's the deal with that thing right there? And so, I looked at it and it looked like mint. I looked it up on eBay and like on eBay, they're like $159, $184 or something like that. But so anyways, I listed these for around like $130 or something. But they were not at the shoe section. So just to be fair, like I was just looking around. I'm always looking around when I go to a thrift store, and these were $5. Okay, $5. These are Sure Grip skates, which are awesome. They are purple suede, which is even like way more red. So purple suede, Sure Grip skates, good size, pretty impeccable condition, right? I probably wouldn't touch them if they weren't like in this condition. They are in very, very, very good condition. I mean, probably, I don't even know if they've been skated on more than once. So check this out, man. The price of these things, $4.99 minus 30% off. Like, come on, like you have to take the risk and go for it. Now the soles are definitely not there. Like it's extremely, this is probably gonna be a little bit more long tail. But that said, there are not too many active ones either. So maybe like someone is twisted to buying a brand new one, and maybe they'll see mine as a slightly used one for $50 less or something like that. So that's kind of the play I'm thinking of right there. But yeah, for $350, I mean, I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, how? I don't understand how a Cole Haan boot is $27.99 and these really amazing purple suede roller skates are $5. Like, I don't get the discrepancy in pricing. Like, it must have been two people pricing, first of all, but I still don't get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Because I would have bought those skates even at like 15 bucks, probably even at 20 bucks. Like, I would have bought those skates. So anyways, I do like, hustling roller skates, but typically they're from like companies like Resell or Chicago Skate or anything like that. So when I come across some Sure Grip ones, which are a little bit more rare, then I definitely get excited and I want to like, see where the end of that road goes. So for me, $350, and if it takes 1, 2, maybe 4 months to flip them, that's okay with me because $350 will hopefully turn into a $100 return. So that's pretty good. They're called Sure Grip. And derby is a keyword, yes. Okay, so I'm going to show you the baddest find in the shoe section. So let's be clear that a shoe section in a Savers is like 4 aisles deep. Okay, so like there's going to be like some kids' shoes, which I would ignore all of those. Men's shoes, there's usually men's athletic and then men's casual and then men's like formal or leather type goods like boots. There's going to be women's athletic and then there's going to be like women's almost like ankle high kind of, and then it can be like women's calf high ones too. There's like all these sections in the women's ones, and shame on you if you don't go look at the women's section as well, because I found crazy boots there. I actually did find a counterfeit pair of Hunter boots yesterday at that Savers, and I was gonna buy the boots, but then when I figured out they were counterfeit, I was like, dude, that's crazy. And the reason I knew it was a counterfeit because I've hustled enough Hunter boots to know the quality, to know what to look for. And yeah, they were definitely a fake for sure. But they still would have protected against water. They're just not Hunters. And I would probably got a Vero complaint on eBay and all that kind of stuff. But hey, A517 is saying something really important. He says, don't forget to thumbs up, everyone. And I agree with that, right? Don't forget to thumbs up this video and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Really important because I always try to make cool, thrifty videos like this before this stuff gets put into boxes and on a shelf in my garage to where I never see it again. And the next time, I don't ever get to see it again. I never get to see it again unless I get a question like take a measurement. But with shoes, there's never a measurement needed. So that's one of the reasons why I love shoes, and like I really do not like to go with clothing. Is because there's no more questions to ask. Like no one asks any questions about shoes ever. Okay, so yeah, so I don't. When you're going through the women's shoe section, sorry, my train of thoughts like kind of slipped here. But I was going through the women's shoe section, and typically, like if you were to, talk to me 3 years ago, okay, 3 years ago, you talk to the Bonafide hustler, like he's really good at men's shoes. He's good at athletic women's shoes, but he usually found the athletic women's shoes at thrift stores and REI garage sales. Like, and that's like the extent of like my kind of like where I stopped when I dealt with women's shoes. But since then, I have like gone into women's boots and women's rain gear boots and things like that. And so this next thing is considered a rain and snow boot, found not in the women's shoe section, but in the women's boot section. And they were just chilling there. And I was like, holy crap, like what are these doing here? So the price of this one was $20.99, and with 30% off, I walked out with paying about $15 for these. And these are crazy. Like I was like, holy, this is what I'm like most excited about reselling, honestly, because it's probably gonna be the first one to go. But yeah, take a guess. I mean, if I show you these, you're gonna guess them in 2 seconds. Guess the brand right now. Go. Guess them. Guess the brand right now. Everyone should know this brand. And if you don't know this brand, just memorize the kind of general style, because the style is the same as for men. So except the men's are never gonna be usually as high as this. But these are women's knee-high or calf-high rain and snow boots. I wanted to say the brand, but that's what I asked you to guess. And yeah, they all look like this in the front. Okay, the men's boots, the women's boots are all going to look like this. These are women's. And yes, these are Sorel, S-O-R-E-L. Now, with Sorel, I would say comfortably that you would want to be looking at about 30% of Sorels, like maybe 40%, but 60 or 70% of all Sorels, like I wouldn't want to hustle them. Okay, like the market's a little too. The market just a lot of times they build rain, snow, like boots like that, and when the weather starts turning, like okay, yeah, you could argue, well, it's cold somewhere in the world. That's true, but there's a seasonality to Sorels mostly. And right now we're still in a really good cold season. So these are Sorels. That's what the brand kind of looks like. That little polar bear walking around. See it right there. And no, these are not Joan of Arctic boots, which are probably the top ones. I've actually hustled one of those before. And the Joan of Arctic boots are going to have fur on the top, and they're going to look kind of like this, almost identical with straps and like fur, and they're really neat looking. But these are not Joan of Arctic. These are actually called Conquest something 2. Anyways, so yeah, great boot. I didn't need to see much more than just the heel. And you can kind of tell what the rest of the boot's going to look like, right? If you just looked at the heel, what do you think the condition of this boot is? Look at this. All right? Look at the heel real quick, and you tell me what condition this boot's in, right? So I labeled them as mint because they really are. Yeah, so these are Conquest. They got straps. They got laces all the way up to the moon. The interior is in perfect condition. I got some bubble wrap in there to keep the structure right, because if the bubble wrap wasn't in there, they would fold over. But yeah, I mean, they might be new. That's the thing. I mean, I can't say new, but I could put mint in. It's under the used condition. But yeah, I mean, it's like really mint. I mean, look at this. I have to make sure. The good thing is, my wife's out of town until Monday, and that's good because that gives us a chance to get into a box and like she'll never see the light of day. She'll never see these ever, and that's good because if she did see these, I know what happens next. So we're gonna make sure that that doesn't happen. Okay, Bonafide hustler has to make money. So yeah, look at that. Isn't that crazy? So I know it's been probably used one time. We can see a little bit of dirt right here, just a little bit, but everything else is in perfect condition. So $15, what do you think? Do you think I'm getting ripped off? Do you think I'm making a bad decision for a hustle here? Think about it. So these are probably going to be selling for probably somewhere between $1 and $120. That's my guess. So I think it's perfect. The tricky part about when you're pricing some of these things is because I always try to run sales in my store, so I always have to consider like, okay, when a sale goes on, what price do I pick now? So when the sale goes, it becomes the desired price that I'm looking for. And so I have to always wonder about that kind of stuff. And if you're not putting your store on sale like all the time, like that's a big kind of like no. You should be doing that, especially if you want to get sales. So yeah, half price for wifey. No price for wifey because they won't be here. I like them a lot. I thought this was the best find of the day. Yeah, they're waterproof, full-blown waterproof boots, super awesome. So those are called the Conquest. You know, if you're going to deal with some male sorels, there's one called a Caribou model, which is good. So I would think, you know, the best part about this is I spent an hour on a hot shot yesterday, and I managed to see 3 thrift stores. I could have seen 4, but the 4th one is a Salvation Army, and I just really don't like it anymore. But anyway, what's up, Reagan? Good to see you. Yeah, the Salvation Armies, I'm just not really big about them. Like Savers that are high, they got really high quality, good thing, good donations. Goodwills are still good in this town. And so I'm down for a hot shot. I'm just not down for like a 4 to 5 hour thrift run, like unless it's my brother there and my wife and it's like this big ordeal and it's fun and we get food and everything, then yeah, I'll do a 5 hour thrift run. But for the most part, I don't ever do those anymore. I do kind of like 1.5, sometimes 2 hour. But I don't know. I have other things that I'm working on. I still love to go thrifting. It's fun. It's a loophole. It allows me to find good stuff for myself at discount. And yeah, it fulfills all kinds of stuff. It's like hitting like 5 million birds with one stone, right? So anyways, good to see you guys. I told you there would be 3 bonus items that I was going to show you on this video. Okay, so you guys ready for the 3 bonus items? I think they're awesome. One is clothing. One is a bag, duh, like you got to get to the bag section. I'm probably going to make a bag guide eventually. I'm probably going to do it just because it doesn't exist out there. And quite honestly, the bag section is like major underrated. So I'll probably make a guide. I'll make it raw. And that way I can bring the cost down and you guys can check it out. But I think it's, you know, one of the things is a bag and the other thing is an electronic. Okay, but let me take 1 second of my time to appreciate some of the people that have stopped by besides Rake and Profit. Jennifer Peltier, Gene Talbot, Justin Packman, Flippin' Picker, Mark Pafford, Debbie Porter, Mike Razzo, Eric Pierch, Jim Dugan, Fabiola, Gijasso, Heather Smith Reseller, Adam A517, probably my #1 subscriber right there. Jixture 90, this person probably owns a motorcycle. Susie Arizona, Micah Roberts. Yeah, I've seen all you guys, treasure hustlers in the house. One question for you guys. Do you guys believe in the hot shot or not? Like, it's really important. In fact, I think tonight I'm going to go on a hot shot. It's going to be retail arbitrage based. So I'll be going to some Targets, some Barnes & Nobles, and one other thing, a Walmart, I think. So, you know, are you down with the hot shots or not? That's kind of like, you know, pretty basic question. Some people love to spend all day. Do you do like one big day a week of thrifting and then like 4 days of processing, or do you do, you know, 3 days of thrifting, 2 days of processing? Like, how do you guys kind of do it? I like to do hot shots. If I can get out now, like nearly every day, that's great. If I can't, not a big deal. But I like to try to get these really brief hot shots in. Keeps my mind fresh. Keeps me looking forward to finding some cool things. And it's definitely easy because when I come home and I'm playing with my dogs outside, I can take some of these shots outside. I call them nature shots. I can take nature shots, and yeah, they're pretty much in a box the very next day. But I have to make a video. That's what this video is all about, because I cannot pack these things up without showing them to you guys. Let me read out some of the responses to that question. You know, do you believe in a hot shot or not? And here are some of the responses. Debbie Porter says 2 to 3 days of thrifting only. Mason Parker goes every day. Justin Packman says hustle every day on lunch break. LOL. I totally get that one. Flippin' Picker, I'm in and out multiple times a week. Okay, cool. Different thrifts every day. Brittany Camillo. Lily Bryden Baker says, I'm new to this. Hey, if you're new to this, check this out. First link down below. Read this thing, okay? It's terrible time to like kind of just tell you to go get the guide. But, you know, if you're brand new to this thing, then get this guide. It's the first link under the description below, right? I wrote a couple sentences about what this video was about. But under that is a link that says free guide right here, 100 amazing items to resell. Please go get this guide. Train your mind. And then go to some garage sales and go to some thrift stores this weekend if you can. 1 day a week, Jennifer Garfield. Brittany Camilo says the guide rules. Yes, the guide is really good. It's a good guide. It's 100 really good, easy to find items, relatively easy to find items that you should be knowing about right now. And then I think that's it. Oh, 4 times a week from search for deal. Okay, so yeah, that's how kind of how it goes. Everybody has their ways of thrifting, and they put it into your lives. You know, like me right now, like my wife's out of town until Monday, so like I could do more thrifting, but I'm not really going to. I just the hot shots are what I can sustain with the workout frequency that I do, the cardio frequency that I do at the evening times, having dogs, no children, have a wife. I do a lot of stuff at coffee shops in the morning. That's the reason why I'm like thrifting part-time now, is because I work on other things part-time as well. And that's kind of like trying to paint the picture for you guys, like why I'm not a full-time thrifter. If I went full-time, yeah, I'd make twice as much money. I would, do great. But I'm working on some of these other things in the background, and some of these other things are very important for me to work on, like fitness-related things, working on the green room behind the scenes. Those kind of things take time. Like I wish they didn't, but they all do. So that's the reason why I'm a part-time thrifter. But I try to make full-time money. That's my goal, full-time money working part-time. Okay, so let me show you the very first find of the bonus finds. We got 3 bonus finds right here. I'll show you the first one. Now, coincidentally, I found one of these last week, so here's another one. And I showed it on my little pickup video or something like that, like 4 days ago. Here's an Extreme 3D Pro. This one came from a Savers. I want to say it was like $3.99, nothing crazy. $9.99. Whoa, I think I paid $3.99. I must have paid half for this. I think there was a half tag or something for this one. Anyways, this right here is a pretty basic joystick for, I want to say it's an Xbox 360 or I don't know, maybe computers. Anyways, yeah, quick test is the Extreme 3D Pro by Logitech. The market's around $34 to $38 after fees and everything like that for a used joystick, and I think it's rank 6. So that's pretty good. I'm definitely gonna mess with that because it's a fast turn kind of item. Item number 2, you won't believe this, but 2 days ago, I was at a Savers, and I was roaming around the store, didn't find anything, blah, blah, blah. Then I got to the furthest corner of the store, and on some of those, and this is why you got to pay attention to either bins that come out of the doors in the very back or racks that come out of the doors from the very back, because those things are going to be sorted and thrown to various parts of the store. But if they're on a rack or they're in a bin, they're still in like their kind of infancy. They're like the new, freshest kind of like, not many pickers have seen it. Not many people in the store have seen it because it's still in the bin. So on those racks, I always pay attention to what's on the racks, especially because you can find interesting pants there. You can find amazing jackets, awesome bike jerseys. When I'm looking through bins, I'm looking for all kinds of stuff. But on the hanging stuff, I'm looking for very particular things. And I saw this. All right, so I'm going to kind of show you what it looked like on the side, and you tell me, would you look at this thing or not? So it was, remember, there were like a bunch of clothing items, and then I saw this thing right here. Okay, so would you get excited if you saw just that sliver, that side sliver right there? Not the rest of it, because clearly it's all bunched up. But if this thing was on a hanger and you just saw that side sliver, would you be kind of excited, or would you start turning tags to see what the brand was? What do you think? Heather Smith Reseller says yes. This is what the side kind of looks like right there. All right. Yeah. So we have some guesses coming in on the brand. Heather Smith Reseller is extremely, extremely intelligent when it comes to this, because she's knocking out the 2 brands that I thought it was going to be. And it is one of those 2 brands. So Flip and Thinker says, hell yes. Let's take a look at the brand here, right? I thought this was killer. We got a Patagonia down jacket, right? And it's a good one too, with minimal baffling. So it's the packable kind, right? I could sit here and pack this thing up to something extremely, extremely, extremely small. So it's definitely a nice, packable, super, super thin down jacket, just chilling there in the rack. With a $14.99 price tag on it. I was like, what? Get out of town. So anyways, I think realistically I will be able to resell this thing for about a 1 to 120. So it's pretty awesome. Size small men's. I know, it's cheddar. That's what I'm saying. Dude, I have 2 of these. So like, it's funny because I was trying to figure out the exact model of this, and it's nearly impossible because Patagonia has been making down jackets, really big baffles, really big puffy ones, down to all the slight, the tiniest, thinnest ones, and they call them different ones, like Nano this or Fitzroy that, and it's just the most annoying terms, and you can't really figure out what you got. So you just have to use generic terms like down jacket, Patagonia, men's, small, black, blah, blah, you know, windproof, and hopefully someone lands on your listing and buys your item. But yeah, you know, nevertheless, it's still a really, really awesome jacket. Really minimal one too. I have a minimal one of these myself, and I use it all the time when I go do cardio outside to block wind, keep myself warm. And it's, like I said, it's minimal. So it's like extremely thin piece of down on the outside, and it really seals everything up. So that is a killer score. Like if you're not looking out for things like this, like, and they don't come around that much. Let me just tell you right now, I'm proud of myself for going to the corner store and being like, you know, can't find anything yet. And then I look at the rack and immediately I see this thing. I'm like, oh, holy crap. Like that saved the day right there already. So I thought that was a pretty killer score. $14.99. Yeah. And it made me go, because I was like, what the hell's wrong with this thing, right? What is wrong with this thing? And that's why I sat there for at least 3 minutes looking this thing over. Okay, so there's gonna be one thing when you deal with Patagonia down jackets, sometimes Arc'teryx down jackets, and North Face down jackets, you might be looking around and be like, oh my God, I see little feathers coming out. Now that is actually typical, okay? And you can see one kind of coming out right there, a little white speck, a little tiny down feather coming out right there. There's a little tiny one right here coming out, and there's probably one right there, and it's kind of like all over the jacket. We see one of the feathers coming out right here. All right, so that is typical, okay? What you don't want to do is attempt to stuff that thing back in, or you don't want to attempt to really pull it out, because you would be surprised what will come out if you try to start pulling it out. A, you might make the hole larger, which sucks. B, you're going to probably pull out something that, and B, it might not even come all the way out. Then you're stuck halfway with this thing, like in your hand, and that tiny little quill of the feather, once you start pulling it out, a whole feather will come out, like a whole down feather. So you have to be really careful, extremely careful. My wife's Arc'teryx jacket, which probably cost like $300 or something like that, even has this stuff coming out of it, right? It just, and we did the other day, I was like, oh, you know, just pull it out. It's kind of like joking, right? Just pull it out, not a big deal. And she actually started pulling it out. And then when she pulled it out, like this huge feather started coming out. And she goes, babe, why the hell did you tell me to do that? And I thought it was kind of funny, but I felt really bad because I knew that now one side of her jacket was lighter than the other. And she would have to be walking around like kind of like this, like everywhere she went. So just kidding. But it was, I felt bad because like jokingly, I was like, just pull it out. And she did. And then, yeah. You know, when you spend $300 on a jacket and then a feather comes out, it kind of pisses you off, I guess. If I was to spend $15 on a jacket and a feather comes out, I'm not that mad, right? But anyway, I thought that was a pretty good one. All right, last thing. I told you the last one's going to be a bag section, right? Do you guys want to hear the story behind this one or not? I can tell the story on a completely different video. I can tell it right here. It's up to you guys. Let me know. It's a really funny story because even my brother was cracking up when I told it to him the other day. This one wasn't a straight pickup. It was found at Goodwill, but the way I found it was very odd. So, would you buy this bag based on the brand? Yes or no? Hey, if you guys want to hear the story, I want all 95 people to hit the like button, all right? Take 1 second, move the mouse over, hit the like button. Now, knowing that all 95 are going to do that, but still. I want to see this. I want to see my likes shoot up. I'm not like a huge like junkie at all. I do ask about it, but I don't really ever. I mean, I look at it behind the scenes and everything like that, but I'm not like a whole like, oh, give me likes and that's all I'll give it, you know, whatever. But I do want to see the likes go up for some reason. So go ahead and put the like down. This is an amazing bag. It's by a brand called Osprey, right? So check out that. So we have a little bony Osprey right there as the brand logo. Osprey is interesting because you can find a fully ragged out bag and you can actually turn it into Osprey and get a whole new bag out of it, right? And the reason I know this is because I did this like 3 years ago. I found this like completely beat up Meridian 22 bag, right? And Meridian 22 bag costs $389, okay? It's a rolling 22 liter bag that goes on an airplane. It can fit on the top thing, you know, when you're inside the cabin. And it has a detachable backpack. But anyways, it's called Meridian 22, probably their most sold bag that they own. And it has rolling wheels and everything. So I find a completely torn up one at a thrift store. And I go forward and I fill out the form. And 3 years ago, you fill out the form, like, what's wrong with the bag? Where's the damage? And I kind of said, okay, it's got some fuzzies around here. The Velcro's got fuzzies on it. And it has one tear in the ripstop nylon. and I'd like to send it in so I can get it repaired because I was going to use it, right? So anyways, I do that. They send me an RMA, which is like a number, excuse me, a number where you can, it's like a tracking number, right? And they say, okay, send it to us, right? So the shipping was on me to send it to them, and I do that in a pretty big box. I think it costs $15 to ship it on FedEx. And of course, like 2 months go by, I don't hear a single word. And then all of a sudden I get this email saying, what did I say? Oh, I get this email saying like, oh, we weren't able to fix the bag. It's kind of like far gone. So we just sent you a brand new one. I was like, holy crap. So yeah, you can get a lot of brand new stuff from them. I want to say Jansport is in the same way. And they're not asking you for any of the reasons behind it. Like, are you the original owner? Can you provide a receipt? They're not doing that kind of stuff. Hey, let me just shout out a couple things real quick because there's some super chats that have come in. Red Neckerson's resale is $1.73. Thank you so much. That's amazing. I want to get awesome super chats this year. So if you guys are down and you want to provide more than a like, or maybe you want to buy more than a shirt, or you've already joined the green room, you still love the content, you want to provide more my way, then yeah, you can totally do super chats. I don't ever ask for them, but thank you so much. Danny Likes Pizza also gave me $1.73. Man, this is enough for beer. I'm going to have a beer based upon these two amazing individuals that just paid me. So thank you so much. So yes, there's an RMA. And they sent me a brand new bag back. So I'm sitting there like, holy crap, I'm looking at a brand new $400, $389 plus tax, $400 like Meridian 22. Like, seriously? Like, and I bought it for like 12 bucks at a thrift store. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so not saying to do that, but if you wanted to, I think you can look at the form, but I don't think it says anything about it. Are you the original owner? Can you provide a receipt where it came from? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it never asked that. So morally or whatever, you could. Okay, so this is a Osprey bag. We want to hear the story. Let me see if people want to hear the story. It's story time. It's story time. It's story time. Okay, cool. Okay, so here's the final story. And the bag is really awesome. How I got it is very interesting. I go into a Goodwill. This is 2 days ago. I'm going to a Goodwill. This is after the Sabres. And as soon as I walk in, like I open the door, bam, Bonafide Hustler walks in. It's cheddar weather time, right? And I walk in and I see this Asian dude that's holding, no, this bag, he has it like grabbed right here, right? He's standing looking at something else. The second I walk in, like that bag is in his hands. And I know, like I see it, I see this like, this bird skeleton thing. And I'm like, oh, if I had just been here, I start thinking like, if I had just been like 2 minutes earlier, 5 minutes earlier, like I could have had that. And I knew it was a money bag because this is the newer logo. It's the newer look and everything. I was like, oh, like that really gets to me. So anyways, so I go around the store, try to find some things to make my whole life better, right? But it's not. Like my life is crumbling before my eyes because some dude's got a freaking like pretty good condition Osprey bag in his hand. So anyways, I go around the store. I don't find anything. And I'm getting like, not frustrated, but I'm like, dude, that sucks. Like, like, of course I go to the bag section like immediately. It's one of the first things I go to because I'm like, well, maybe if the person that donated this donated some other things and homeboy Asian dude didn't care, you know, to look through everything, kind of, you know, delve. Anyway, so I go there, didn't find anything else. But so clearly if someone was just moronic enough to like donate this thing, so like 20 minutes have passed by. I've gone through every part of the store. I've gone through the electronics, the video games, like the shirts, the shoes, everything, man, like everything. And I'm about to walk out. And I see the Asian guy with the Osprey bag, like getting close to the checkout line. I'm like, oh gosh, it's so annoying. Like, you know, why can't he just like put it down for a second and then I can just like come by and come get it, right? But he doesn't do that. So I'm at this other end of the store. And then I realized like he's contemplating something. Like he's close to the cashier, but he's contemplating something. And I put two and two together really quickly because as I'm peeking between the aisles, like it's like women's clothes, a rack, a steel rack, women's shoes on top of it. And there's this little gap, right? And I'm like checking him out like this, dude. I'm like looking at this little gap at this Asian dude. And I'm looking at the Osprey bag. I'm like looking at him, like looking at the Osprey bag. And I realize he has his phone out. And he's looking at and I see all these like red bags going up and down, scrolling up and down. I realize he's researching this thing. So I'm like, A, he might be a reseller, or B, he might just be like a dude that was like, is Osprey good or not? This looks like a crazy bag. Probably found out what the asking price of this thing was. I think this is around the $300 range anyway. And so I'm like, oh, he's like, and so at that point, I start to realize like the dude's kind of unsure about buying this thing. And I'm like, he could be unsure because maybe he doesn't need it, or he's unsure because maybe it costs too much. And so all these things are rifling through my head because that's the kind of guy I am. Like I'm sitting there like all these little things are spinning through my head. And I'm like, which one is the one that's happening? And then I decide, okay, you know what? Like I'll let him do his checkout. And if he's gone by the time I do this next swing around the store, then I lost the bag. Like it's not mine. And so I start going around the store. Maybe I missed something, right? So I go around the store and I'm at the video game section. And that's really close to the little flappy doors, right, where they get all the inventory in and out. It also happens to be close to the flappy doors where the price checks are going through. Like if an item doesn't have a price tag on it, then some Goodwill dude like runs through the doors like and then runs back out like it's this, you know, like. And so the Asian guy is like, you know, sitting there waiting, and I realize like, holy crap, the bag's not in his hands. And then I make 2 and 2 connect, 1 and 2, and I'm like, oh, okay, 1 and 1 connection go, and I'm like, all right, there's about to be a bag flying out these doors because you got a price check. And of course, the bag comes flying out the door with some dude on with it or on it, not on it, with it. And he goes, it's $24.99, sir. And so the guy goes, oh. And then he proceeds to walk around the store for about 7 more minutes, and he's like looking at it, like doing this. And I'm starting to think, dude, $24.99, that's not a bad deal at all. It's actually really good. So he's doing all this stuff, and he starts walking close to the bag aisle. And can you guess what happens next? It's pretty easy to guess it, but can you guess what happens next? He starts walking to the bag aisle. There's another reseller that starts coming around the back end that sees the bag too, and he's starting to follow the dude. And so I've got to figure out some sort of intercepting kind of way to get this bag, but I know where the bag is headed, right? And so he is going to the bag section. He walks in the bag aisle. He looks at the bag, and he gently puts it down. At that point, I see other reseller guy start to beeline towards the bag section. And I'm closer to the bag section than other random reseller dude. And I know he's a reseller. I know he was. So I get there first. Other guy had dropped off the bag. He had turned the corner already. I look at the bag. I pick it up, and I put my hands on it like this, right? I'm like grabbing this thing. I'm like, I got it. Like, holy crap. And I know what the price is. So then I start inspecting it and everything. And so I'm so deep into my inspection, right? I'm sitting there. There's like baseball bats around the bag section. And I'm inspecting this thing. And so here I'm like looking around, like unzipping all the zippers, and I'm like looking at all the weather stripping material, making sure nothing's all weird. The handles are good. All the zipper pulls are badass. Making sure that the backpack actually unzips from the main bag. I'm testing everything out because 25 bucks, you know, while I'd love to say like, oh yeah, I could piss that money away. Like truthfully, I don't want to, right? I could, but I don't want to. So now I'm like checking this thing out. I'm checking this thing out. All of a sudden, like in my periphery, like down periphery, I see 2 legs directly like close to me, like within 18 inches from me. Like I'm sitting here like doing this with the bag, and there is a dude right here, like in front of me, like looking at bats or pretending to look at bats, dude, pretending, right? He's sitting there like, and it's like a kid bat that's like this big. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna pretend to look at bats, at least do it with like regulation softball size bats. Like you're an adult. Like he picks up this like kid's bat, he's like messing with it. He has no idea what he's doing. And I know why he's there. It's the same original Asian dude, right? He's sitting there in front of me because he had made the decision to come back around. He wanted the bag so bad. And so he's sitting there, and my grip is even tighter on this bag now. At this point, I'm like, oh my gosh. So what do you think I did? What do you think I did? All right, I'll tell you what I did. Because as soon as he's like sitting there and like this dude, I could feel like the Asian breath on me, you know? And so he's sitting there, he's looking at it, and he's waiting. He's waiting for me to just like, right? So I grab it even tighter, and I zoom off, dude, right to the cashier, and I buy it. So that's the story. And I made sure he was in front of me when I did the zoom off because I was like, this is going to make the story right here. If I do it right at this moment, and I beeline out of here, bam, like got this bag right out from under the dude. So that's the story of the bag. If that doesn't deserve the like, I don't know what does. But anyways, that's pretty much how I got it. Like, yeah, I probably spent, I should have got in and out of that Goodwill in 10 minutes. I think I probably spent 25 minutes in there, you know, stalking some Asian dude, and then finally getting the gold, So anyways, I thought it was pretty good. You know, did I elaborate that much on the story? Not really. Like, honestly, like that story really like went down just like that. That dude was like right in front of me. Okay, the Asian breath part, maybe not. But like, yeah, like the guy was like so close. Like, it was so funny. Like, he was petering around with his little bat. Like, it was so fun. I was just sitting there like, man, you are really bad at pretending that you want this thing. Like, you were really bad at this. But anyways, that was pretty much this story. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the hangout or this you know, thrift haul kind of thing or whatever, then hit the like button for me, okay? And don't forget to get 100 amazing items to resell. It's the first link down below. Yeah, really, really, really good guide right there. And if someone wants to, I'll retell the story whenever. If you guys want to get it retold one day, that's not a big deal. Maybe I could do it on a thrift battle, which is coming next week. But yeah, go get this guide. It's down below. First link down below. Till then, I'm gonna go hustle my brains out tomorrow. It's gonna be garage sale day. I'm gonna film the whole thing, and then I'm gonna show you guys my haul. It's gonna be awesome. So thanks for hanging out with me for an hour. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you on the next Bonafide Hustler video. Take it easy. Goodbye.